No, not really. I think, obviously you're always watching to see certain guys if effort level. It's more like guys in and out of the lineup right now, injuries, trying to keep that together, but still keep the same message. It's you can't take a game off. I don't care if you're out of the playoffs or not. It's just I'll be quite frankly, some guys can't afford to take games off. This is evaluation time. So if you've packed in already, it's going to really affect all of our opinions on the guy. So that's why you're really looking at guys, how they finish strong.
Brock talked about the fact of how much it sucks missing the playoffs again. Those were his exact
Yeah.
words. Do guys need to feel that pain to feel the hunger to make sure it doesn't happen again?
Yeah, the suck and it's awful, but what are you going to do about it? Like, these are words. Like, let's do something about it. So that's why we talk about, what are you willing to do this summer as an individual to make sure that you're ready to go, and then collectively as a group. That's really what it comes down to.
How much are you leaning on your leadership group to make sure the wick is turned up here a lot?
A lot, a lot. Those guys have. I think they've done a really nice job. The 2 months I've been here of turning some stuff around for helping me out. We've just scratched the surface, so we need obviously to continue that through the summer.
You had a long chat with JT out there. Was that just a similar kind of thing?
No, he just asked. He wants to play 60 minutes a game now. No, we were just talking about different things.
Ethan Bear said the thing he admires the most about Quinn when he's been paired with him is that despite the A, he hasn't changed the kind of person he is. Doesn't have to necessarily come in, I'm wearing an A, I got to be loud. He lets his game do the talking and is very respectful of everybody in the room. How much do you think he's embraced?
Yeah, I'm really impressed by him. I always tell players, beat pressure with pressure, and when the pressure hits our team, if there's a guy puck's dumped in, Quinn goes back and he wants to make that play. We need more guys like that. Instead of, I hope the puck doesn't come to me, we need more guys like Quinn. If you watch, he's usually the first tag to get the puck on a breakout. Or teams putting pressure on in the corners. Like, obviously he's not going to kill guys, but he's very smart at coming up with those loose pucks. So when I talk about meeting pressure with pressure, he meets pressure with pressure. That's what we need. And he's acted that way.
You guys use the word predictable a lot. They need to play more predictable hockey. Is that, they play the game, but is that a mental challenge as much as anything?
Yeah, it's mental, it's chemistry. It's also, it's hard to play that way. To me, the Miller line's been successful. They were the last game, I think they were +8 or +10 in chances, and the rest of the guys were kind of even because they're connected and they're playing predictable. They know when, if Giuseppe goes first guy, he knows he's going to eliminate the guy. The second guy's going to be in there. We're a little disconnected right now. The other line's not sure, is the first guy going to take the guy, or is he going to guess where the puck's going, and then you're not connected. So when you talk about predictable, that's why that line's successful right now, is because they're predictable. They know where they're going.
Do you come away from a game, with a list of things you're looking to see or not seeing in terms of your assessment as we go through the end of the last few games here? Is that something you're looking to see?
Oh yeah, the last couple of games we've talked about certain things we'd like to see from certain guys or lines. So tonight's is a good evaluator. Can you take that information and apply it, and have that work ethic? Because it does go a long way for this summer. We're all going to get together, coaches, management, and hey, what about this player? This player, and you're going to have these impressions of guys for the last month or the last couple of weeks.
Ice has to be earned, and you've said earlier, Rick, that Krasov's at a place where he's not ready to play. I mean, these last 5 or 6 games, is he a practice guy, maybe take game day skates? Is he that far removed from where he needs to be? Or?
Yeah, well, I think got to get him in the lineup, but I think he just has to understand it. He's got to show us that he wants to play hockey. He's a good kid, but I'm not sure he knows the work level yet, and I think that's why it's important that he gets some good skates out there and knowing what it takes. We don't have a lot of bodies around, so he'll definitely get in the lineup.
How do you monitor a guy in off-season? You talk so much about the off-season, how big it is for so many players, Rick. How do you monitor a guy who probably will go back to Russia?
Yeah, I think you monitor him every, you stay in touch every week, every couple of weeks. I don't think you can go very long without seeing these guys. And I know we're going to have some of our staff go visit some guys. That's going to help this year too. 4 months is a long time. So you got to make sure that you have enough contact with those guys that they're doing the right things.
Rick, how difficult is it to get a true assessment of your hockey? Can I get the team and you call guys from the minors who are going to play hard for you every night because they want to prove they can bring in college kids, it's the exact same story with them. Is it difficult to see what you really have when you're factoring in that as well?
Yeah, the college guys, I mean, it's hard to like be fair on those guys. You don't want to throw them into. And I thought Cato did a great. I thought he was pretty good. I watched the video. He looked a smart guy. There's something there, with Aiden, the same thing. It's hard to just throw guys in and say, okay, can they play or not? It's not as simple as that. What I look for is their stuff there and their attitude and stuff. And to me, the attitude's there and the energy level. That's what I look for. And then the other stuff will come. But yeah,
Do you know what you have moving forward, I guess, in terms of your core pieces around that?
well, there's some guys there I didn't know about that have impressed me, and there's some guys here that, to be honest, I'm not sure yet. But there's been some good. It's not all. There's some good positive stuff that's happened for sure.
Yeah, it looked like Akito was getting a time on power play unit today, second power play unit. Is that a spot where we'll see him tonight?
Yeah, we needed on the second. It's probably a two defense unit, and his skill level and his hockey IQ. So why not throw him in there, evaluate him? We're playing a good game, a good team like Seattle going to the playoffs. It's good to throw a guy in there and see what he can do in those pressure situations, and then he'll have a good taste this summer.
Right. With lots of talk of the evaluation, you've had a couple games now. Jack Rathbone, he's had an up and down season, injuries again. What are your early impressions of him so far as an NHLer?
I think these last couple of games he's played, he's come a long way. I think I think he's had just an okay year in the minors. From what I've watched him a little bit, but I think there's once again there's something there. Can he take these whatever games he's going to play left? 5-6 games this year I think he's played. Can he take that into the next level? That's really what it comes down to. And then. Let's face it, in training camp, he's got to shine. He's got to be in one of the best shaped guys, and he's got to be from the day one. You want to impress the coaching staff, so he's got to gear himself up for that.
How does a player exceed your expectations for an off season in the work? How would they do that in a summer?
Well, obviously from last year, whatever the impression is last year. I don't know their test scores from last year. That will help, knowing the guy put his work in. And then from day one, knowing the system, being, when practice hits, being dialed in right away, focused right away, and impressing the staff. You got to do something. There's, camp's not that long, so you have to do something in these exhibition games or in practice to impress the players, the coaches and management.
Every coach likes big mobile defensemen. I know you love what they have in Vegas. There also seems to be an argument in the league that you can have one smaller defenseman, but it's hard to have two in your lineup. Is that up to the player to maybe change that thinking? A kid like Rathbone, you already have Quinn, obviously, but can you have two undersized defensemen?
Yeah, it's right. The player can change that narrative.
Okay.
The way he boxes out, the quickness, how fast he gets the breakouts. I mean, if you're a small guy, if you're a fast guy, you can get back there and get the puck up to the forwards. To me, that's as good as a big defenseman. But if you're getting hemmed in all the time and you can't squash cycles, that's really what it comes down to. When you can't squash a cycle or pin a guy, then the other team gets all that possession time.
Looks like Delia tonight. You still
Delia,
Still going to alternate basically.
The Delia will probably get at least another 2 or 3. Yeah, for sure. But I know Demmer wants to. He likes to play too. But it's a long summer, so he wants his time. He'll get his time, but I want to make sure Delia gets his time too.